Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live session. Today, we're going to be talking about the importance of preparation, not just for the IELTS exam, but also for uh, studying abroad. If you're planning to study in Canada or another English-speaking country, this is going to be a great session for you. And I'm just waiting for uh, my special guest to show up. He'll be here anytime soon. I'm just going to drop him a message and let him know that we're here waiting. So one of the things that I'll just cover a few details. It's hard to believe that we're coming right down to the wire here with our 12-day base camp. So there's only a couple of days left, and one of the things that I do want you to know, if you've joined into this course, uh, not right from the beginning, but maybe halfway through or a few sessions in, you can find all the previous lessons in the guide sections of the Facebook group. So you just go to the top of the Facebook page and you click on the tabs section, and you'll see click on the guides, and you'll find all the lessons that we've done previously, and as well as finding the lessons that we've done previously, you'll see all the previous live sessions. So just to let you know, and our final live session will be in a couple of days from now, so don't miss that. And Z, welcome to the session. It's really great to see you. How are you doing?
Thanks. I'm doing all right. Not too bad.
Thanks for joining us today. So one of the things that we've been doing through this group is just talking about the importance of making sure you're fully prepared, not only for the IELTS exam, but for whatever your plans are for the future, especially if you're planning to study abroad, because there are a lot of details and things that go into that. And it can be overwhelming at times. And I'm happy you're here today, Z, because let's see, we met about 2 years ago, and we discovered that we kind of have a mutual mission, and that's to help people get to Canada or another English-speaking country and get into the university of their choice. But not only that, to have their dream career or their dream life. So I really want to thank you for being here today. And maybe you can just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your mission.
Right. Awesome. So hello, everybody. First of all, thanks for having me, Jeff. So my name is Syed Zihad, but everybody calls me Z. And I am the founder of Connected Education, where we help students study abroad, such as Canada, UK, Australia, or USA. And we help with the entire admission, visa processing, and career development once a student moves abroad. So kind of a one-stop solution for anybody who's looking to study abroad. And obviously, we work with Jeff to help our students with their IELTS exams and all that stuff. And we had our students score pretty good scores so far. So yeah, that's about me.
It is really exciting. And one of the things that I enjoy the most is meeting your clients and students, helping them with IELTS, and especially when I get a note from them that they tell me, oh, they got the score they need, and they're even happier because I'll get another email saying they've arrived in Canada, whether it's in Calgary or Halifax or Toronto, wherever they've decided to study. And there's nothing more satisfying than hearing that these students are successful. So I don't want to start on a negative note, but Z, maybe you could just share one thing to start with. And the reason that I do this course is I want to make sure that people are fully prepared to take the next step in their future. But what do you think is one of the biggest mistakes that students make when it comes to planning their education or planning for their future?
There are a lot of mistakes, but the one thing I would say though is people usually don't ask the big question why when they want to do anything. It's very important that you ask yourself, why am I doing this? What am I going to take out of it? And really dig down as to where I'm going with this is basically imagine a world where everybody knew what they were passionate about, but we don't have that. And why is that? It's because nobody asks, what am I really passionate about? Why am I studying the current program that I'm studying? Why do I want to get the job that I ultimately want to get? Why am I writing this IELTS test? Right? So with everything, if you really ask the question why, in terms of education, because half of our lives we're putting into studies, but most of the time we're just kind of going down a path that has been carved out by everybody. But how about really carving out your own path and ask the question why, and why am I going through this route? That would end up with a mess because a lot of people will start changing their programs, changing their job fields, changing their life's mission. But hey, that's the world we want to live in, where everybody lives or does something that they're passionate about and they're enjoying. Yeah, so that's going to be probably the one thing that I notice with most students.
Yeah, I think that's really important. One of earlier on in the course, we had a live session with Valeria, who now teaches with me, and she suggested that what she does even now is she wrote out the reasons why she's learning English, the reasons why she's taking the courses she's taking, and she posts it on her wall in her bedroom where she can see it every day to remind her of why she's doing what she's doing, and to stay motivated. And I think that this is so important, because if we lose sight of the end and why we're really doing this, I think this is where the IELTS exam is just one step towards the future. But we have to ask ourselves, why are we doing this one step now? And how is it going to benefit me for the future? So, Z, if you were to, I know there's lots of advice that you can offer, because I know that, and I've learned from experience and from talking to your clients, I can tell you that there's nobody else that I'm aware of that knows more about what it takes, the little details, the visas, the finances, even finding a place once you arrive. Every little detail you seem to take care of for
So,
your clients, and I really appreciate that, and I can see how it benefits them. But if you were going to give maybe two or three really important tips for planning to study abroad, what would those most important tips be?
yeah, number one, people underestimate how much time it's going to take to prepare to study abroad. Most students approach us after they have written their grade 10 or grade 12 or undergrad exams, and they say, hey, I want to study abroad now. And the craziest part to me is, look, this is the biggest chapter of your life where you're going to be moving to an entirely new continent, and you're not going to move as a tourist. You're going to have to set up your life there. You're going to integrate into the culture, learn how to get jobs, make new friends, network, plus learn their new education system as well. And you're giving yourself 3 to 4 months for preparation, whereas you gave yourself 10 years to prepare for your grade 10 exam. Come on. So that's what I say. This is the first step is if you're someone who already knows you want to study abroad, start now. Even if you have 3 to 4 years to go, start now, because you always heard it. It's very hard to study abroad. It's an extremely complex process. But hey, it doesn't have to be complex if you start early. So that's number one. Number two is know what program you want to study. Just because your family is telling you something, just because you're seeing that a certain program is in demand, doesn't matter. Because let's say you study an in demand program, um, and if you hate it, you're not going to get a job. Because if you suck at what you do, who's going to hire you? So it's very important that you feel passionate about the program that you're studying and you know exactly what you're aiming for after graduation. Many students think, hey, you know what? I'm going to study this program. I'm just going to get a job. But you go around and ask the students, do you know what job you want really? They're not going to be able to answer it. So you're just kind of going at no direction. And that's why you have so many fresh graduates not end up landing a job because there's about every year 10 to 20,000 graduates graduating with the same degree. So what's so special about you? Nothing. But if you knew early on what's the specific job you're going for, during your studies, you can build on some extra skills, some specific skills that that specific job requires, and then you can get ahead of the game. So that's my tip number two. And lastly, institution rankings don't matter. It's the location of the institution that matters. So let's say if you want to study electrical engineering or marketing, if you're going to a city that doesn't even have those kind of job opportunities, and so many students make this mistake just to save a few $1,000s, they go to this absolutely middle of nowhere cities and they graduate with absolutely no work experience and they say, you know what, I'm just going to move to the bigger cities now. Well, guess what? First off, you had no experience. Then you're going to move to a new city with absolutely zero network. And then now you're competing with graduates from that city plus people who has experience and probably looking for jobs as well. So it's a bloodbath. So you don't want that. So you should rather go to a city where you can just start it off right, build your network for 4 years, gain some work experience on the side. Your experience in McDonald's or Tim Hortons doesn't count. I've been a recruiter before. Even if if somebody says that, oh hey, it's nice to put on your resume, everybody respects it, it's just euphemism. Nobody wants to look like the bad person. So you just like completely disregard the experience that you have from McDonald's, Subway, Tim Hortons. Get professional work experience related to your field while studying to stay ahead of the game. So these are the 3 tips that I can give you.
That's great.
First,
See, one of the things I've been really fortunate. I've lived in Canada all my life, and I've lived everywhere almost from the West Coast to the East Coast, and there's nowhere really in Canada that's a bad place to live. And so, the culture is mainly the same. Maybe you prefer a big city or you prefer a certain area, but that's not always the best. And maybe sometimes you choose a place because there's lots of people from your country there. But I think that might even defeat the purpose of coming to Canada if you just move to an area where everybody's from your country. What do you think about that, Z?
well, if you were to move to Canada just to meet people from your country of origin, just stay in your country of origin. The whole purpose of moving abroad is to meet new people from all over the world, get to learn from new cultures, integrate with new communities, and broadening your perspective on life, right? That's because you just get to learn so much. Like if you're someone from India, if you're someone from Bangladesh, you already know what the lifestyle of Bangladeshi people are or Indian people are. So go learn about Canadian people, Mexican people, Italian people, and you're gonna just learn so much. And it is going to make you more of a sophisticated person. You're going to be able to present nicely. You're going to be able to talk around wider subject areas, and all that stuff. It's much more fun that way. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, there's no bad place to live in Canada, except maybe in January, when
Yeah. Every place is a bad
where
one.
everywhere is not so pleasant.
Yeah.
Just before we wrap up, see, there's just one comment from somebody watching today that's really fruitful. So thanks for your comment. Another asking that wants to know the procedure to take admission, and I think we've been covering that. But I know, Z, that you have a great company. You have a great staff of people who are really ready to help people. If somebody wanted to find out more and connect with you and connect with your staff to find out more about your program, how can they do that?
They can actually I can send everybody a link and they can sign up on that form and my team can get in touch. and our website is internationalstudent.shop. But I can totally just drop a link here right now, so that anybody can have access to it. Just
That'd be great. And I'll make sure I post the link for those of you watching on YouTube and Facebook. I'll put the link in the comments as well. And if you're watching on the replay, don't hesitate to even ask your questions, and I'll be sure to do my best to make sure your questions are answered from today. So we're going to. I think we're about ready to wrap it up. Z, any final words? Any piece of advice that you'd like to add just before we finish up here?
Yeah, so I just sent you the link in the private chat. So if you wanted to share it in the comments, you can. Let me know. That's good.
I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah, it's in the private chat.
Okay.
So yeah, anybody can just go and sign up there if they want.
Okay, so it's
Awesome, you got it.
we've got it
Cool.
right here. Okay, so this is the link. If you'd like to connect it.
There you go.
Okay.
Let's get a nice into it. So yeah, if I were to say something for international students, is that, hey, look, the reason you're moving abroad is that you got a big dream. It is very ambitious, and it does take a lot of courage to study abroad and leaving your entire family behind and just chase something that's unknown to you. So as much as it's exciting, and with everything exciting and everything ambitious comes a lot of challenges and struggles. When that happens, don't give up. There's going to be a lot of quitters around you giving you advice to just settle for less. Don't ever settle for less. That's going to be my best advice for you, is that stick to the dreams that you're moving abroad with and make sure you achieve them, because they're very much achievable, and keep hustling. That's all I can say. And obviously, make sure you make yourself aware of the requirements, which is IELTS, knowing your program requirements, selecting the right program, selecting the right institution, making sure you prepare yourself early on for a visa. Work with experts, right? Do your homework. Everybody claims to be an expert. You should do your homework on Jeff. You should do your homework with Connected if you're ever planning on signing up, so that you are signing up with a credible person. But it does help when you have an expert by your side to guide you through your entire admission, visa, and obviously the IELTS process too. So that's all I can say.
Thanks so much. And I can tell you again, Z is the expert when it comes to coming to Canada, studying abroad, and I would really encourage you to follow through with Z if you have any questions or concerns about where to get started on your plan to come to Canada. Well, Z, thanks so much. Thanks everybody for being here today. And don't forget to just ask any questions. Contact me if you have anything that you want to know about for the rest of this course or your future, and I'll do my best to help you as much as possible. So all the best, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.